1 week left in the regular season of the Canadian Football League. We welcome in Scott Schultz, the old 96er. Good to see you, Schultz. How are you?
Really good. Thanks for having me on, gang.
Yeah. And, as we come into the final week of the season, a great time to have you on. Look, coming out of the last week in the CFL season, Riders had the bye week, so we'll get to the Riders and the Bombers and the situation that lies ahead. But coming out, all eyes were on Vancouver and this Nathan Rourke situation, Vernon Adams getting the start, but he played well. Like, do you recall being in a situation in your career like that was anything similar to this?
Yeah, well, actually, it's coming it's coming on to be quite the fly in the ointment what they're dealing with out there. But I can remember a game back when oh man, it was a home game against BC, and Dave Dickinson was the starter. And in the first quarter, I put a hit on him, knocked him out of the game. And then Nate Davis, right before the half, puts down Casey Printers. And then in the third quarter, out comes the Magic guy. Oh, man, what was his name? Oh, it escapes me. But the third string guy came in and lit us up.
Was it Travis Lulay at the time? No.
No. Who's the guy before him? Buck Pierre.
Buck.
Oh, my God.
Was it Buck?
I would change that game right there. For the rest of my life, I've changed the B in his name to an F because he came out in the third quarter, and we thought, well, it's just their third string rookie, and he lit us up. They ended up winning the game, and it was a home game, home loss for us. It was pretty tough. So I'm aware there are guys that are waiting in the wings, and VA is a guy that had some tape, and his abilities were well known, and he's just in that situation with work.
Yeah, it really is. And here was the interesting thing, too, and I'm curious your thoughts on this, because it felt like the locker room was becoming a little divided. Everybody was a little divided on it. Now, part of the situation, VA was hurt, so Nathan kind of had to come in and play. And then when VA got healthy, Nathan was playing pretty good, so they kept him in. And then, it wasn't going well. They make the change back. It feels very much like this is Vernon Adams' team. And we saw that after the game. Yeah. He plays well, throws a couple touchdowns, and the players in the post-game interviews were very much like, we needed that boost. We love VA. He's our guy. We like Nathan too, but it feels really comfortable. Is that awkward in a locker room?
It is, and other positions, it's not as pronounced, but when you have this at the quarterback, I mean, you're always told you'll never lose your position to an injury, get healthy and get back, right? And, that's all things being equal, where you can come back in and you take over where you left off, but when you're fighting to get back in the lineup and you're struggling to get in there, and you've got a situation where there's money involved in big contracts. It's tough. And the Lions, they're just trying to get away with whatever they can to win games and doing what they think. And, sometimes when you roll the dice in these situations, it bites you.
Yeah, it does. They did win, so questions seem to be answered, at least for the time being. Now, this week, Winnipeg and Montreal, the Bombers can win and secure first place, but if they lose, it opens the door to a Saskatchewan win against Calgary to leap the Riders into first place. As a player, right, how much are you, scoreboard watching and, trying to look at those situations, or are you kind of let's just play to win every game and let the chips fall where they may?
Definitely play every game one at a time, let the chips fall where they may. But, you leave all that thinking and all the skullduggery stuff to the guys that want to do that, and media guys like us, someone on their staff, the coaches are looking at it. But really, it's about, let's get done what we need to get done, and things will take care of itself. Now, after the game is over, if the consequences are in a game that's ahead in the evening, yeah, you're going to tune in and take a look. But it's really get done with what's at hand. And speaking of Winnipeg, for them, they've got to secure that home field advantage. There's no question about it. I don't think there's any scenario where people are talking, oh, maybe they'll let it go. And no, they want to secure it. They want to get it done. And it's really going to be, what does Montreal do? Do they put in all their starters? Are they going to coast? What does that look like? And it'll be as interesting to see this weekend.
Yeah, that I'm really curious about that too. And not just, because it's all secured, they've got a week off after this. So, for Cody, for some of the players, how much in a game like that, when you've got first place, you got a week off in the, semifinal week, and you're sitting there in the East Final waiting, how much do you want to play this week? Because, if you don't play this week, now you're looking at 2 weeks off, 3 weeks between game action. Do you want to play a full game, or do you want to kind of get a few reps and then be sharp and that's it?
You know what? I mean, as a player, obviously you want to play, you want to stay sharp, you want to be on top of things. But, in these situations, what I've seen in the past is eh, the team comes up with a plan, and whatever that plan is, you just stick to it. You adopt it, you believe in it, and you take it forward. And I believe, they'll try to sprinkle them in, get some playing time. And then I would imagine they would pull out their more impactful players, and because everything's locked up for them, so they'll coast, and then it's the challenge of what do you do in that kind of that break time while you're waiting to play the winners of the East.
Does that do anything mentally? So, the Alouettes didn't really haven't had much to play for here the last couple of weeks. They lose in BC, pretty good. Cody doesn't play much. Let's say they lose to Winnipeg. Does that mentally sit in the back of your mind with a week off and then into the final? Or do you kind of sit there and say, we didn't need to win those games. Those were preseason games. And it's really not something you ever think about again? Or does that creep into the back of a player's mind?
Well, I think it creeps in. I think, any coach, any coaching staff, they're trying to figure out ways to keep their players centered and grounded and humble. I look at on the low level, high school level. Like I coach for the old Griffins, and we're 7-0 right now, and we're heading into another playoff game, and we haven't had a ton of pushback, and keeping our kids ready and understanding that playoff football is anytime, anywhere, and loser goes home. So the stakes are up, and it's that time of the year for the CFL, and I think the fans are going to get a treat because it's going to be some exciting football coming ahead.
Okay, a couple quick ones for you. First, are you leading the campaign trail for Roland Milligan for MOP?
You know what? That would be nice. I mean, he's had one hell of a year. At every stop, he's come up and made big plays, and he's been very impactful on the field. Leadership, he's shown character. I would love nothing more than for him to get that nod.
And how about Bo? So Bo Levi throws for another 450 yards, 5 touchdowns ended up being a meaningless win, but a win nonetheless over Calgary. They're not going to make the playoffs. Would you vote for Bo Levi for most outstanding player?
No, you have to have your team in a position to be winning, because it's not about just the most outstanding player. I mean, it's in the name. It's an individual award, but it's attached to what that impact. To me, it is, anyways. It's attached to the impact that they have on the team and where they've taken that team. If you've just got some stud, but you're not even sniffing a playoff berth, I can't, in good conscience, vote for that guy.
Hey, I like it. I'm okay with that. It'll be interesting to see what happens here down the stretch. And finally, give us the game preview, the playoff preview for the high school team this weekend. Who do you got?
Oh, we've got the Greenall Griffins are snorting and fussing. We got a home game at Leibel Field on Saturday, and it's against Moose Jaw Central, who's a very formidable team. My old stomping grounds. We had some success against them earlier this season, but that all bets are off in the playoffs. And we're looking at coming in. We've got 41 guys on our roster. We got a bunch of guys playing both ways. We're 7-0. We should get it done. So we're just going to keep our guys on track this week.
Good. I'm looking forward to that. Good luck, and thanks for jumping on here this morning.
Really appreciate it, guys, and looking forward to being on again soon. Take care.
Awesome. Scott Schultz joining us in the Rectangle this morning. Yeah, great stuff. And that game at Leibel Field. We'll be there for Leibel Field Rams and Alberta Golden Bears Friday night, and then probably go over and watch a little bit of that game on Saturday. That'd be great. Check out the high school football, which I love this time of year in the playoffs.